Good afternoon, everybody. I know I'm not my dad, but I wanted to practice my Devo skills and figured this would be a good time to do it because I'm not really doing anything at home. So I figured I'd give my dad a break and give you guys a short little lesson from me. It's been a rough few weeks for everybody, and I know lots of people have been having work and income problems. I never imagined today that I wouldn't be able to go to church and see everybody and answer the question of what grade I'm in every week. I really enjoy that. For one, I was real excited about these next few weeks. I had graduation coming up and college prep stuff, church camp in the summer, my birthday, my 18th birthday, which on that note, I like chocolate, gift cards, all black 2020 Chevy Silverados. No, I'm kidding, but yeah, I'm not really sure how my future is gonna look here pretty soon, and I know a lot of you are in the same situation. Yeah, just lots of weird stuff are happening, and it made me think you could almost write a book about it, which I'm sure someone will in the future. I bet there will be lots of books about all this stuff that's happening, and they actually did write a book, something like this. It's in the Bible called Job. It's about this man who just had a lot of weirdly bad things happen to him. And so that's what I'd like to talk about today. If you'd like to go with me to Job chapter 1, and I'm going to be reading verses 1 through 5. Job 1, 1 through 5, it says, "There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was blameless and upright, one who feared God and turned away from evil. There were born to him 7 sons and 3 daughters. He possessed 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 female donkeys, and very many servants, so that this man was the greatest of all the people of the East. His sons used to go and hold a feast in the house of each one on his day, and they would send and invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. And when the days of the feast had run their course, Job would sin and consecrate them, and he would rise early in the morning and offer burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, 'It may be that my children have sinned and cursed God in their hearts.' Thus Job did continually." Job was a really faithful man. He had a great life. He had a big family, lots of property, lots of animals to do business and make money with. He had a great wife, large feasts regularly at his house that he shared with his family, and he was a great servant for God. So if we look over at verses 6 through 12 in chapter 1, we see God and Satan have a little meeting, a little talk. Satan wanted to test Job. God was bragging about how great Job was, a servant for him, and Satan didn't like it. So he asked God if he could kind of mess with Job's life, and he wanted to prove to God that he was not that faithful, and if he got mad enough, then he would change his faith. And God didn't think so, so he let Satan do what he was going to do. So Satan decided to mess with Job to prove God wrong. So in the next few days, Satan killed all of Job's children, and he had all of Job's livestock killed, all in the same day. Now, you'd think with something that crazy happening that Job would question God and be mad at him and why would you do this to my family if I'm such a great servant? But no, he was still faithful. Here we'll read Job chapter 1 verse 20 through 22. Job 1, 20 through 22, it says, "Job arose and tore his robe and shaved his head and fell on the ground and worshipped. And he said, 'Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord.' And all this Job did not sin or charge God with wrong." Job was still faithful after his kids and his livestock were just removed from his life. I mean, that's crazy. If you think about it, that's a real faithful man. So if we move on, we see that Satan meets with God again. Satan's real unhappy because he thought that was going to change Job's faith right there. So he asked God if he can just mess his life up even more. So God says, "Yeah, my servant is so faithful, you can do it again." So Satan decides to take his health this time. He puts loathsome sores all over Job's body. all over Job's body. And trust me, don't look up loathsome sores. I did to get a better understanding of what they are, and they're nasty. So save yourself. They're really gross. If we move on to Job chapter 2, verse 9 through 10, it says, "Then his wife said to him, 'Do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse God and die.' But he said to her, 'You speak as one of the foolish women would speak. Shall we receive good from God, and shall we not receive evil?' And all this Job did not sin with his lips." So Job's wife even started to question God. I mean, that must be hard for Job to stay faithful even when his own wife is questioning. He even called her foolish, and he kept his faith. So a few days later, Job was talking to his friends, and they kind of kept their distance with his sickness and everything. But they were having a conversation, and they started to convince him that God was doing Job wrong. And Job started to believe it. He began to get angry with God and question him. So God came to talk to him, and Job realized that he was wrong for questioning God, and he asked for forgiveness. Now, because of Job's repentance, God restored all of his fortune and gave everything that everything that was taken away from him back. He had how much was it? 7 sons? Sorry, I have to go look back. 7 sons and 3 daughters. He had 7 more sons and 3 more daughters. He got more animals than he was originally given, and everything was restored. Now, I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't a little frustrated with God right now. I mean, it seems like a lot of things that I was excited for and a lot of things that are about to happen in such a big part of my life were taken from me. And it's frustrating. And I just kind of wonder why God would choose to do that in such a big time in my life. And it makes me think that maybe God has something in store for me like he did for Job. Me and my dad were talking earlier. He had taken me out on a drive because him and my mom had noticed that I'm getting a little upset about all the stuff that's been happening. And so we were driving around, and my dad had said, in a quote, he said, "You may not realize it now, but when you grow older, you're going to find out that when God takes something away from you, it's because he has something better for you in the future." Things are going to get better before we know it. I know it's hard to keep hope right now, and it sure is for me, and I know it is for a lot of you guys, but things are going to get better, and we can't let our anger get in the way of realizing that God knows what he's doing. I miss all of you guys, and I hope this message reached you as much as it reached me. Bye.